Good morning to all of you. Okay, I'm not getting that, but anyway, good morning. Minister of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation, Honorable Kenson Kazimi. Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation with responsibility for early childhood, continuing and special education and digital transformation, Honorable Danny Butcher. Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kendall Kodra, Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation. Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Alfia Emmanuel, Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation. Chief Education Officer, Ms. Beverly Diodone, Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation. Registrar of Examinations, Mr. Patterson Abraham. Heads of Department, Ministry of Education. Education Officers, Curriculum Officers, Communications Unit, Assessment Unit Officers and Staff, Principals, Primary and Secondary Schools, Administrative Staff, Ministry of Education, other education stakeholders and partners, online viewers, parents, students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2026 Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment Results Ceremony. I am Rochelle Jabatis Collymore, Numeracy Coach for District 3, and it is my distinct pleasure to serve as the Mistress of Ceremonies for the 2026 Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment Results Ceremony. If there is one word that captures today's occasion, it is growth. Not the kind measured in centimeters, but the kind measured in courage, perseverance, learning, and achievement. Growth is a remarkable journey. We seldom notice it while it is taking place. It happens quietly, in classrooms, around kitchen tables, during homework sessions, through countless questions asked and answered, and in the determination of students who choose to keep trying, even when the work becomes difficult. As we gather for the 5th release of the CPEA results, we are reminded that growth has been taking place every single day in educational spaces across St. Lucia. This year marks a significant milestone as we celebrate the 5th administration of the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, CPEA, in St. Lucia. Like any meaningful educational initiative, CPEA has evolved through reflection, refinement, and continuous improvement. Each administration has offered valuable lessons, strengthening not only the assessment itself, but also the ways in which educators teach and evaluate student achievement. The evolution has also resulted in students learning and the perception of their educational experience. Nelson Mandela captured this journey beautifully in his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, when he wrote, "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb." Those words resonate not only with our students, who today celebrate the successful completion of one important stage of their educational journey, but also with CPEA itself. 5 years on, we celebrate how far the assessment has come while embracing the opportunities that lie ahead as we continue striving for excellence in education. Indeed, every milestone achieved, such as CPEA, allows the learner to develop competencies, resilience, and attitudes to prepare for the subsequent educational milestone. Today's results, therefore, represent far more than scores on a page. They reflect the early mornings, the late evenings, the carefully planned lessons, the encouragement of parents and the caregivers, the dedication of teachers and the school leaders, and above all, the perseverance and the fortitude of our students. This morning, we celebrate achievement, we celebrate partnership, we celebrate progress, and most importantly, we celebrate growth. Thank you for honoring us and your presence this morning. We trust that this ceremony will inspire us all as we celebrate our students' accomplishments, recognize the dedication of our educators and parents, and reaffirm our collective commitment to educational excellence. We now have our opening prayer. To lead us in our opening prayer, we have Mrs. Jacinta Auguste, Principal of the Mondidor Combined School, District 2.
Good morning, everybody. For those who do, let us sign ourselves. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Heavenly Father, we give you praise and thanks for the gift of life. Thank you for your mercies and your tender grace, O Lord. Though it is difficult, Father, this job that you have entrusted in our care, we thank you for making us educators. Thank you for choosing us. We are grateful for your guidance and your strength throughout this academic year. Father, as we are gathered as a team, we commit this meeting into your loving care and ask for your blessings upon all that will be said and done today. As we receive and reflect on these examination results, grant us wisdom where there is folly, light where there is darkness, discernment where there is confusion, strength where there is weakness, hope where there is despair, and an open heart where there is hatred and anger. Father, lift up the leaders of the Ministry of Education into your hands. Bless them with wisdom and integrity as they make decisions that will shape the future of our students. We pray for those presiding over today's gathering. Endow them with wisdom, clarity, and discernment. May the words they share uplift our spirits, deepen our commitments, and inspire us to work together as one. Help us to celebrate our successes, learn from our challenges, and use these results to improve teaching and learning for the benefit of every child entrusted into our care. Continue to strengthen every educator present. Renew our passion, unite us in purpose, and help us to serve with excellence and compassion. Grant us traveling mercies as we go back to our workplaces, confident in the promise that you wrote in Isaiah 40, verse 31, that if we hope in you, Lord, you will renew our strength and make us soar like eagles and never get weary. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Auguste, for those inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing at attention for the instrumental rendition of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. It is now my distinct pleasure to invite the Chief Education Officer, Miss Beverly Diodone, to deliver this welcome address.
Thank you, Madam Mistress of Ceremony. Minister for Education, the Honorable Kenson Kazimi, Minister in the Ministry of Education, the Honorable Danny Butcher, Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kendall Kodra, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Althea Emmanuel, Registrar for Examinations, Mr. Patterson Abraham, District Education Officers, Principals, distinguished officers from the Examinations Unit, other ministry officials, teachers, parents, members of the media, invited guests, and most importantly, our students joining us online. Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the presentation of the 2026 Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment CPEA results. Today marks an important milestone for our education system. While we celebrate the accomplishments of our students, these results also provide valuable evidence that guide our next steps. Assessment is not simply about scores. It helps us evaluate the effectiveness of our teaching and determine how we can improve learning for every child. The registrar will shortly present the detailed analysis of the results. My focus is on what these outcomes tell us about the work taking place in our classrooms. I am pleased that the national mean increased from 77.24 in 2025 to 79.26 in 2026. Even more encouraging is that all 4 subject areas recorded improvements. Come on, colleagues. This tells us that the targeted interventions we introduced, guided by assessment data, are producing positive results. Applaud for yourselves. Well done. The strongest performance was recorded in language arts. This reflects our deliberate investment in strengthening literacy. We have promoted an integrated approach to the teaching of English language, and in our early grades, we continue to strengthen reading instruction through the Jolly Phonics program. Teachers have received specialized training, and every primary school has been equipped with Jolly Phonics resources to help children develop the strong reading foundation essential for success across the curriculum. Come on, colleagues. These gains are the result of the dedicated work of the literacy coaches, the curriculum officer, and the curriculum officer for language arts, who have provided classroom coaching, demonstration lessons, mentoring, and continuous professional support. Let's applaud them. Well done, Mrs. Raphael and your team. We are equally encouraged by the gains in science and social studies, which reflect greater emphasis on inquiry-based learning, critical thinking, and and student achievement. While mathematics remains our lowest performing subject, it also showed encouraging improvement. Last year's assessment data identified mathematics as a priority, and we as a ministry responded immediately. Teachers received targeted professional development. Every primary school was provided with additional mathematics teaching resources, and our curriculum officers and numeracy coaches worked directly with teachers to strengthen classroom instruction based on each school's specific needs. They need to be applauded. This is the direction in which the Department of Education and Digital Transformation will be moving, using evidence, using the data to inform action and ensure that every intervention is purposeful and focused on improving student learning. These achievements would not have been possible without the dedication of our educators. I sincerely want to thank our teachers for embracing new instructional strategies and remaining committed to student success. To our principals, thank you for providing the instructional leadership needed. Our district education officers, curriculum officers, literacy and numeracy coaches, thank you for your outstanding support to our schools. To our parents and guardians, thank you for partnering with our schools. Parents, your encouragement, sacrifices, and continued involvement remain essential to your children's success. To our students, many of whom are following online, congratulations. Your hard work, perseverance, and determination have brought you to this important milestone. We are proud of each one of you. As we look ahead, colleagues, we remain committed to building teacher capacity in preparation for the implementation of our new primary school curriculum, the DOHPC. And we all know that it is the Digital OECS Harmonized Primary Curriculum. Our academic year 2026-27 will focus on preparation of principals, preparation of teachers, preparation of all of our system leaders to ensure that when we implement the new curriculum in the 2027-2028 academic year, everyone will be effective, ensuring that our students succeed. Educational excellence is built through effective teaching, strong leadership, supportive families, and students who are inspired to achieve their very best. Today's results remind us that we, as an education system, are making meaningful progress. And together, we will continue building an education system where every learner has the opportunity to succeed. Congratulations once again to our principals, all of our educators, our parents, and most importantly, our students. Thank you, and may God continue to bless all of you.
So indeed, it is a glorious morning because there is growth. Wouldn't you agree, everyone? Based on what you've heard. Okay, so thank you, Chief Education Officer, Ms. Beverly Diodone. for enlightening us on what is to come. So we now have Honorable Danny Butcher to deliver brief remarks.
Minister of Education, my friend and colleague, Honorable Kenson Casimir. They gave me a protocol and I just saw my name here. I almost called out my name. Permanent Secretary, Minister Kendall Kodra. Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Althea Emmanuel. Chief Education Officer, Ms. Beverly Diodoni. And Acting Registrar of Education, Mr. Patterson Abraham. Ladies and gentlemen, principals, education officers, good morning. I promise you that I will be brief. Every time you call up a minister to speak, you qualify it by saying, or quantify it by saying, brief remarks. And I would make sure that there are brief remarks. As I enter into my remarks, I think there are a few people, like the Chief Education Officer said, that we must celebrate. And first of all, in my mind, we must celebrate our students. We must celebrate our students. You could go ahead and clap. We must celebrate our students because in my mind, they gave their very best. And if they gave their very best, that's good enough. I remember sharing a story just a few weeks ago at the opening of the southern campus for Sir Arthur Lewis, and I shared with you I was driving through Castries. I was driving near a school that shall remain unnamed, and I saw a little girl walking behind her mom. And to be very honest, I did not know if her mother was berating her or celebrating her. And she was walking behind her mom, but she had this perplexing look on her face. And naturally, I stopped to find out what's wrong with her. A little student with a little uniform. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "I just wrote my exam." And her mother said, "She just wrote her end of term exam." And I said, "But why do you look like that?" She said, "I don't know if I got all right." and then I said to her, "Did you give your best?" She said, "Yes, I gave my best." And I said, "If you gave your best, then that's good enough for now." And so when you leave here, I want you to celebrate our students, because really and truly, in my mind, they gave their best. You honestly feel a student would leave their home, eat breakfast, go write a CPEA exam and say, "I'm coming not to get a good grade"? No, they gave you their best. And when you return to your school, I want you to celebrate them because they gave their best. I want to also celebrate this morning our principals and our teachers. It is an extraordinary venture and an extraordinary process to get ready for a standardized exam. I know. I was a teacher, and so I know. But the monumental effort that you put in and day out to ensure that our students are ready, I think you must be commended for it. And sometimes, to be very honest, you must be commended for it because sometimes you feel that you're not getting the support of various stakeholders. And sometimes you feel that you're in it all alone. I was a teacher. You believe that you're in it all alone. But what is so valuable and what is so interesting, that even in your moments where you felt that you were in it all alone, you kept pressing on, and you too gave your best, and you must be commended for it. I want to thank and really celebrate our parents. Sometimes they hide in the shadows of all of this great success, but really and truly, they are the ones who are pouring resources, invaluable resources, into our children. You have parents from varying walks of lives. You have teachers, bankers, doctors, janitors, painters, fishermen, lawyers, and they wake up every morning again to give these children the best, and so we must thank them for it. We must thank them for ensuring that the children, no matter how big or small it was, had the resources to go to school, ensuring that they had breakfast on a morning, ensuring that there are uniforms to go to school, ensuring that they created a space so that the cultural capacity of the children could grow, and that the children could thrive, and that the children could learn. But I also want to give our parents today a very, very important warning that when you receive those results today or tomorrow, that this is a moment of profound love, grace, and encouragement. I will repeat myself, that this moment, when your child hands you over those results, that this is a moment of profound grace, a moment of love, and a moment of encouragement, that you must do everything in your power to ensure that you reassure our students and our children that they have given their best, and that you will celebrate them at this important juncture in the academic and educational journey. You must. You must reassure them that a simple percentage or simple numerical value is not the complete value of their entire lives. You must let them know that, because at this important moment, you have a very important chance to build and really encourage a student, or you have a student, you have an opportunity to break down a child. And I want you to take this opportunity to reassure your child, to let them know that irrespective of what grade that they have gotten, that true to form, you will remain that constant figure in their lives to ensure progress, to ensure growth, and to ensure continued success. I have about 2 more points, and then I'll take my seat and be very brief. I know we've looked at the statistics, and I know that the acting registrar will speak to us about the statistics even more. But I personally believe when it comes to statistics, we must reach the point in our journey as an education sector, or even as an examination body, where we need to assess and examine our statistics even more. We must reach a place where we could look at statistics, look at the growth, but still answer the important quantitative question: is there statistical value in the percentages that we see? Is there value in it? We could say that we move 5 points up. But is there value? What's the value in it? We must be able to run robust, well-documented inferential tests and to answer those questions. And when we answer those questions, we'll be able to make proper inferences. We'll be able to test robust hypotheses, and we'll be able to make proper mathematical predictions. You understand? Make proper mathematical predictions, because we understand the value between the percentages. But equally important, we must be able to capture the lived experiences of our students. We must be able to understand their feelings and their opinions and their emotions and their habits when it comes to a standardized test, which I think we've not been able to over the past. Not that it's a critic, but it's a place that we could grow. And when we understand the lived experiences, what does a standardized exam mean to you? How do you feel about this exam? What are students' habits when it comes to writing those exams? And when we would have meshed information from both data sets, I believe we will be at a premium place in our educational assessment. I also want to thank the testing and evaluation team, because they've made special arrangements for students with special needs. And I believe, again, that is extraordinary and that is welcome. It is definitely a far cry than when I wrote, whether you want to call it entrance or exit exam when I wrote it, which must have been decades ago, I don't think that kind of latitude or that kind of comfort or that kind of space was given to students with special needs. And I think really and truly, because it's done now, it shows the progression and it really shows the growth in our ministry when it comes to testing and evaluation. But I also want to challenge you a bit more that when it comes to providing various forms of testing and evaluation, can you challenge your team a bit more to provide forms of testing and evaluation that are dynamic and also unique to students' experiences that are different, that are differently able. And I think when we reach, that's another milestone that we have to reach in our journey. And I guess when we reach there again, we would have shown the rest of the world how comforting and how caring this education system is, because it's not only about a percentage, but it's to make sure that you have acquired particular skill sets. And finally, we must remember the importance of a CPEA examination. A CPEA examination is not simply to place students, whether you place them north, south, east, west. It is an educational checkpoint in the journey. That is the importance of a CPE examination. And so I challenge principals, I challenge teachers, I challenge educators. When you would have received a student's profile and you would have looked at the final score, don't remain at the final score, but study the profile. Whether that child got 90% in math, you must be able to understand, is that child proficient in fractions, decimals, measurement? Maybe that child is excellent in all of those areas, but they got all the money question wrong. And so I want you to study the profile. And when you would have studied the profile, then you and I will better be able to be in a place to plan efficiently, to give proper instruction, and to give proper guidance for the growth of our students. Thank you so very much. And like Chief said, may God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your brief remarks. And honestly, I mean, such profound words, and we need to take all of this into consideration. Okay, we now call on our Honorable Minister, Kenson Kazimi, to deliver the feature address.
The results are in. There's a lot of people around me there, but protocol already established. Yeah, although I come from a sports background, so I'm always ultra competitive. As Mrs. Charles from Grosley Primary would tell you, it's very difficult for him to stay one place. She taught me and she knows that. But I am really excited this morning. So let me go through the protocol fast before I forget. Allow me to adopt the protocol already established and acknowledge my honorable colleague, Minister Butcher, and let's put our hands together for the hardworking staff of the Ministry of Education. I also want us to put our hands together for the district education officers and the hard work that they perform. I can never ever leave out the principals. Let me tell you, the principals, you all are on fire. Let's put our hands together for the principal in St. Lucia. And let's allow our teachers to know that we appreciate them. Let's give them a round of applause. And at the end of my speech, I will ask you all to put your hands together for our students. So let's go back on that one. But this year marks the 5th year since St. Lucia embraced the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment as the instrument through which we measure and prepare our children's transition from primary to secondary school. At this 5th year, I can tell you this 5th year brings genuine good news. As Chief indicated, the national mean composite score has risen from 79.22 up from 77.24. Y'all paying attention? 77.24 to 79.22%. 26. Okay, well that's right. Yeah. A meaningful, measurable step forward in one single year. So, 1,890 students sat the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment exam. I am pleased to report that every single one of them, all 1,890, has been placed in a secondary school. True to form. This is once again a strong reflection of this government's commitment to ensuring that no child is left behind. Beneath the improved national average, the subject-by-subject results present a balanced picture of progress, stability, and areas requiring, of course, renewed attention. As a ministry, we celebrate our gains while remaining transparent about the challenges that still confront us. I want to highlight, as Chief did, language arts improved from 79.95% in 2025 to 81.63% in 2026. This represents an increase of 1.68 percentage points. This shows that our investment in literacy, interventions, and teacher support is producing positive results. Of course, I commend our principals, our teachers, literacy coaches, parents, and students whose collective efforts have contributed to this improvement. Mathematics has shown improvement, moving from 72.45% in 2025 to 74.69% in 2026, an increase of 2.24 percentage points. So while this progress is encouraging, mathematics still remains the lowest performing subject area nationally and must therefore continue to receive our focused attention. District performance. This year, for the first time since taking up this portfolio, I'm able to share a complete district-by-district breakdown alongside the national figures. Our top 3 districts this year. District 1, 84.66%. District 7, 81.18%. District 2, 80.73%. I also need to highlight District 6, having also met the national mean, with Districts 1, 2, and 6 surpassing the mean in all subject areas. This means that we have some work to do with our other districts. This ministry's commitment from last year stands. Closing this gap is a priority, not only a talking point. Performance by gender. Of the 1,890 candidates, 961 were girls and 929 were boys. Girls continued to outperform boys this year on the composite score, 80.47 versus 77.93. And on every single subject area without exception, 558 girls, or 58.1%, scored at or above the national mean, compared with 492 boys, 53%. His ministry continues to take that gap seriously, rather than treating it as a footnote, and we will be expanding literacy engagements, all interventions specifically targeted at boys in the early primary grades. Excellence across our primary schools. Looking at the top 16 results by primary schools, one pattern stands out. School size does not have to be the destiny. The Montessori Center produced 5 of the top 16 performances, the single strongest showing at any primary school in the country this year. Get this. Carmen Rennie Memorial produced 3 of the top 16. Auger combined produced 2 of the top 16. Big applause. Alongside, we had 1 top 16 placement from Camille Henry Memorial, 1 top 16 placement from Balata Government Combined School, 1 top 16 performance from Dame Paulette Louise Primary School, 1 top 16 performance from the City Center, St. Aloysius R.C. Boys Primary School. We had 1 top 16 from the West Coast Ancillary Primary School, another one from the West Coast Soufre Primary School, and we had 1 top 16 from the River Dory Anglican Combined. These results matter because they prove a point this ministry has long argued. School size does not have to be a destiny. Where leadership, teaching quality, and community support aligns, results follow, and we intend to study what these schools are doing right and carry those lessons to every school. Now, no discussion of secondary school readiness is complete without speaking to the pathways that await our children once they leave primary school. This ministry has taken a deliberate strategic decision. Not every child's future lies along the same academic road, and our secondary school system must reflect that truth. We have transformed 4 of our secondary schools into technical and vocational education and training institutions under the St. Lucia TVET Institute banner. Of course, we have the School of Construction and Heritage, PI. We have a School of Innovation and Technology in Angers, School of Sustainable Agriculture and Culinary Arts in Grand-Rivière-Dennery, and the Stanley John Odlum School of Arts, Media, and Design. This year, 153 CPEA candidates enrolled across the 4 institutions with a capacity of 330, highlighting room for growth as awareness increases for these new pathways. I want to be candid. Building genuinely certified pathways in trades, technology, agriculture, and the creative and the service industries, alongside the traditional academic curriculum, is not a demotion of any child assigned there. It is an expansion. It is an expansion of what success can look like for St. Lucian student, and it is this ministry's job to make that case more persuasively to parents in the years to come. Parity of esteem. To the parents and guardians of our CPEA candidates, I want to speak directly to you right now as my ministerial colleague did. Because in a few short weeks, your child begins a new chapter, and how that beginning goes depends as much on what happens at home as on what happens in the new classrooms. Whatever your child's score, lead with congratulations, not a comparison. The CPEA measures a moment in a long journey, not a child's full worth or potential. I suspect Danny looked at my notes earlier. Attend your school's orientation activities. Meeting the new principal, the form teacher, and guidance counselor, meeting them early reduces anxiety for both you and your child. Expect an adjustment period, a new uniform, a new bus route, new subjects, and new social dynamics. There are a great deal of change at once. Patience in the first term goes further than pressure. Keep the lines of communication with the new school open from day one. Particularly if your child has any learning support needs identified at the primary level, that information should travel with them, not get left behind. The ministry, through our district education officers and school guidance counselors, they stand ready to support you and your child through this transition. You are not navigating it alone. In closing, to the 1,890 children who sat this examination, whatever your score, you completed something that asked you to think, to reason, and to persevere. And this ministry is proud of every one of you. Can you put your hands together for our students today? To the teachers and principals who prepared them, often with far too few resources and far too little public recognition, this ministry sees your work, and we are committed to backing it with more than words. So finally, I now want to recognize the 16 candidates who placed within this year's top 10 national ranks. Several ranks include ties. So we have 16 representing the top 10. If students finished in 9th place, and all 8 got a percentage of 97.8%. Put your hands together for that. All 8. From Riverdori Anglican Combined, assigned to St. Joseph's Convent, Kamaya Fame Domai. I will say the name again because I kind of slightly mispronounced it. Kamaya Fame Donai. Remember the name. Also with 97.8% from the Ancillary Primary, assigned to St. Joseph's Convent, Caitlin Kenya Montus. Okay. Also with 97.8% from St. Aloysius RC Primary, assigned to St. Mary's College, Anton Patrick Adrian Dovine. From Soufrière Primary, also getting 97.8%, assigned to St. Mary's College, Ovel Beaubrun. From Carmen Rennie Memorial School, 97.8%, assigned to St. Mary's College, Liam Patrick Freeman. From Carmen Rennie Memorial, 97.8%, assigned to the St. Joseph's Convent, Brielle Mayers. From Montessori Center, also with 97.8%, assigned to the St. Mary's College, Daniel Perida. From the Montessori Center, with 97.8%, assigned to St. Joseph's Convent, Newt Aituro Leons. And if you know the Leons family, you would understand the name. Also, with ninth rank in terms of ranking, 97.8% from, oh, I just did that, sorry. We move into 7th place now. From Auger Combined, assigned to Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School, Grace Amaya Herman. So we have 2 students finishing with 98%, so Grace Herman, and the other student from Carmen Rennie Memorial, assigned to the Leoness Comprehensive Secondary School, Nathan Lorenzen. We have 2 students tied for 5th or ranked 5th. From Balata Government Combined School, assigned to St. Joseph's Convent, Aria Gustav, 98.2%. From Dame Paulette Louise Primary, assigned to the St. Joseph's Convent, Ayanola Finisterre. And let's just say a special congratulations to Miss Leos on her next journey in education, I call it, but retirement from Dame Paulette. Let's put our hands together for her on her stellar years of service. In the top 4, from Camille Henry Memorial, with 98.6% assigned to the St. Mary's College, Ahil Ogis. There is a 0.2 percentage difference between fourth and third, with 98.8% from the Montessori Center, Angelina Shiriki. There is a 0.2% difference between third and second, from 98.8 to 99. Finishing second in our CPEA exam, and indeed second in the region. Second in St. Lucia, and second in the region. Can I get some water, please? Water is life. Oh no, I need a little more. There is a 0.2 percentage difference between third at 98.8 and second with 99 from Auger Combined School. Library in the building. Assigned to Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School, Alexander Charles. Put your hands together for Alexander Charles. 99%. Topping the island, and indeed topping the region, and everybody writing this standardized CPA examination is from District 1. It's from District 1. From the Montessori Center. Assigned to St. Joseph's Convent, Emerald Sinisa Lucy Alfred. Put your hands together for her. From the Montessori Center, Emerald Alfred. 99.2%. So we had 99%, 99.2% at the top. Let's put our hands together for all of our top performers. Our registrar of exams, by the way, is confirmed, is no longer acting. He will provide you with more of the regional statistics as it occurred during this period. But it must be noted that St. Lucia outperformed our regional counterparts overall in every subject area. Every subject area. Well done to everybody, for sure, Chief. We are far from finished. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of introspection, revision, and analysis to do. We all hold our education, development, and the youth of this nation, their future, in the palm of our hands. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to improve. Let's continue to be that shining light in the region. I thank you.
So it is confirmed. It is what type of morning? A glorious morning, isn't it? But you don't sound like this at all. What type of morning is it? Glorious morning, indeed. Thank you, Honorable Minister Kazimi, for your enlightening words, inspiring, encouraging words. And the students out there, you have done very well. Parents, good job. In fact, I could say great job. Teachers, wonderful. And there's a lot more to come. Okay, we now call on Mr. Abraham, I'm not going to say acting anymore. What is he? The registrar of examinations unit. So he will present the synopsis to you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. Thank you so very much, our Mistress of Ceremonies. Let me take this time to recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister of Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation, the Honorable Kenson Kazimi, our Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation, Honorable Danny Butcher, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kendall Kodra, our Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Alfia Emmanuel, our Chief Education Officer, Ms. Beverly Diodoni, our heads of department from education, our district education officers, wonderful set of people, working very, very hard, right? Staff of the various units, in particular those units that are working very closely with the examinations unit, such as CAMDU, the Curriculum and Material Development Unit. We also have our Special Education Unit that I really want to recognize, in particular one single person I want to single out. Yes, Miss Keisha Charles. Please stand, Miss Charles, so that they can see you. She is the secretary at the unit, but guess what? She is a phenomenal, resource that has been doing an excellent job in ensuring that all our students receive an ASP, somebody to provide them with accommodations. I had to recognize her, all right? And of course, our wonderful principals, vice principals, our teachers who are present, and our online viewers, parents. I know that you are very eager to receive those results, so I'm not going to be very long. I believe that Minister and Chief, they have presented a lot to you, but I'm just going to give you a visual, all right, as to what we have achieved for this year's assessment. So, St. Lucia, we had 1,890 students or candidates sitting this year's exam. Out of this, 961 were female, 929 males. 6 of them were absent for the exam, and that could have been due to medical reasons, and there were other circumstances. 105 of them received accommodations. These accommodations, now you see our numbers, and you could understand the hard work that our special education unit has to really go through in ensuring that each of these students receive somebody, a qualified teacher, a trained teacher, to provide accommodations for the examinations. The structure of the CPA, for those who may not know, we have an internal component that contributes to 40% of the total score, and our external assessment that contributes to 60% of the score. Our scores range from 34.4% to 99.2%. The national performance of this year's exam, as indicated earlier, we attained a national mean of 79.22. That is an increase of 1.98 from our mean from 2025. Out of the 1,890 students who sat, 1,050 students or candidates, attained scores at or above the national mean. That is 79.22. Whereas compared to 840 students who scored below the national mean. Sorry about the delay. Okay, so let us just do this comparison. As I spoke about, last year's mean was at 77.24, and this year's mean, 2026, at 79.22. We look at St. Lucia's performance versus that of the region. And the visual here indicates that St. Lucia outperformed the region in every single area. Overall, St. Lucia, our national mean was at 79.22. The region's mean was 72.35. All right? For females, the mean for the females was 80.47 compared to the regional mean at 73.84. Males for St. Lucia, 77.93% compared to regional mean of 70.86. So a difference of 7.07% for our males, right? But when we look at our in-house comparison, females continue to outperform males, the females attaining an average of 80.47% compared to our males 77.93%, right? So there is definitely something that we need to speak about. Minister did mention that St. Lucia, again, like last year, we were able to capture the top 2 spots in the region, all right, with Emerald Alfred attaining 99.2% from the Montessori Center, attaining first place in the region and, of course, first place nationally. And also Alexander Kelly from OG Combine at 99%, second in the region and second in St. Lucia. But top male, I want to say the top male in the region and second in St. Lucia, which is wonderful. All right. We also spoke about our subject performances. Compared to 2025, we recognize that all subject areas experience an increase in performance. So this is definitely a point that needs to be highlighted and also celebrated. The means by gender for 2026, I want to highlight that males and females, we recognize that females outperform the males in all 4 areas of the assessment. Now, I want to draw your attention to the external performance by subject. The external performance by subject, and we need to look at the reality here. All right? Mathematics is at the lowest end at 63.61%. Language at 70.60. Although language had the highest attainment overall, but when we look at the external part, which is the exam part, we see that our highest main came from that of science. So let's put our hands together for our science team. Miss Anya James, the curriculum officer, and of course, we also recognize all the efforts of our curriculum officers. I believe that they have been doing a phenomenal job. All right? The total mean for the external component stands at 69.34. That means that we still have a bit of work to do when it comes to the exam component of the assessment. All right? The internal component, our students are doing extremely well. All right? We have students attaining 100% going into that exam. But it is a different picture when it comes to the external aspect of the exam. All right? Now let's speak about our secondary schools. We have been speaking about our the means. I want to explain that I know that there are lots of parents and students who are very eager to receive their results. And we have had a lot of backlash because it looks like St. Lucia is the last to release CPEA results. But I want to inform you that unlike our counterpart territories, CXC does not do assignment for us. Because of our partial zoning policy, we have to also ensure that we use that data to adequately place our students within schools. In addition to that, we are not just satisfied with the type of analysis that we receive from CXC. So we nationally, we carry out our own analysis so that you can be informed and you are able to use that analysis and to put in intervention plans to ensure that our students benefit from those programs. So that is why you will find that our results are a bit delayed reaching the students. But in saying that, I would encourage principals, after living here, receiving those results, please do not delay in delivering those results to the students and parents who have been waiting for a very long time. All right? Now I want to speak about I selected a few secondary schools. These schools were not selected because we have placed them as our best secondary schools. However, I selected those secondary schools because they are the schools that are most preferred by the choices that parents make for their students. This year, the minimum score, I am looking at the minimum score and the maximum score to enter or to be assigned to those schools. Castries Comprehensive Secondary School, the minimum score is 83.6% and the maximum score, the child with the highest grade, attained 95.6%. I want to explain that these scores are not predetermined. They are only attained after we have imported our data into this computer system, and the algorithm is actually going to automatically place the students based on their preference of school choices. Entry pool, 79.8% to 86.6%. Let me just speak about the minimum score. St. Joseph Convent, 90.8%. I want to say that we will have a lot of students who may be in tears today. And the minister did speak about, please, we need to ensure that we comfort our students at home, our children, to have them understand that the school that you have been assigned to does not define you. You are the one who defines the school, who make up the school. All right? St. Mary's College. Now let me go back to St. Joseph Convent. We are at 90.8. We have approximately 51 students with scores between 90 and 90.6. And these students cannot enter into St. Joseph's Convent. Right? I am giving you that background because of what I am going to say a bit later. Right? St. Mary's College stands at 89.8%. Binfield Secondary. Binfield Comprehensive, thank you. Binfield Comprehensive Secondary School at 79%. Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary at 87.2%. Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary at 84.6%. Now, I want to say to parents and those out there, our public, we are unable to fit everyone into the first school of choice. We are unable to do that. I want to declare, for example, I will go back to St. Joseph Convent. St. Joseph Convent gave us allotted places of 140 students. That means that these are the number of students that they can actually accommodate in Form 1. The algorithm actually assigned 145 students to St. Joseph Convent. So I'm already apologizing to Mrs. Ogis. We know that you are very creative and you will make it work. All right? This means that parents who may have students attaining 90.6, please, we are saying to you that there is no space to accommodate you at St. Joseph Convent. And not just St. Joseph Convent, but all our secondary schools. Now, out of the 890 candidates who wrote, after we had assigned, not we, but after the algorithm had assigned the students to secondary school, there were 68 students who were unassigned. Unassigned does not mean that they attained a failing grade. These students, their grades range from 80% to most of them were within the high 70s. Now, what actually happened? Because of the choices that were made, and I want to speak very honestly to parents who will be making those choices in the following year. Please allow the students to get a buffer. What do I mean by a buffer? If your child has not been consistently performing at 90% and up, do not select those highly competitive schools because the students are not going to get in. Get a buffer. That is why we have the partial zoning policy. We are giving you an opportunity to get a school within close proximity. So what did we do with the 68 students that were unassigned? This is where our partial zoning policy is applied. We, as a team at the ministry, my unit, we are now going to look at the choices that were made. We are going to use your address, and we are going to look at the schools with available spaces. We are now going to make a decision to place your child at a school that we may believe may be closest to you. This may not work. These parents, 68 parents who may see a school that was not part of the choices, you have the right to come to our unit to request a reassignment to a school with available spaces. All right? Reassignment is not for everybody. And we have had the case of, I want my child to move from Leon Hess to St. Joseph Convent. I want my child to move from Enchipo to Castries Comprehensive, or from Miku Secondary to Binfield, or to Viewfort Comprehensive. This is not how it works. Remember, our system is based on a system of merit. It is based on scores, and it is based on available spaces. So please, Minister has said, do not call the minister for favors, all right? Please, I would love that you can really, really cooperate with the staff of the assessment unit, and we will be addressing reassignment from Thursday of this week. Thursday, what is the date of Thursday? The 2nd of July. This is when we are going to address reassignment. So please, when we release the results, we do not want to see parents gathering outside the ministry's doors, outside the unit's door, asking, because maybe if I come first, I am going to be assigned first. That's not how it works, all right? So we are looking forward to assisting you. We are always there to hear what you are saying to us. But remember, we are working on the guidelines and protocols that must be applied to everyone. At this time, I want to take the opportunity to really thank all the staff members of the assessment unit, in particular, our CPEA officer, Mrs. Priscilla Silvestre. Mrs. Silvestre, can you just stand that they can see you? She has been working very, very hard, all right? You may not know, but she has been putting a lot of hours. Our curriculum officers from Kamdu, our special education unit, the literacy and numeracy coaches, the support that you have been giving at the district level, and all other support units of our ministry, we want to thank you tremendously for the support that you have given over the year, and we're expecting that it is going to continue into the new year. So congratulations to all our students, everyone, every single one, no matter where you have been assigned, congratulations to you. Congratulations to our principals, teachers, and of course, our parents. So God richly bless you and keep you. And remember that it is by his divine purpose that a lot of things fall in place. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. And our students are patiently waiting, parents as well, so we continue to complete this session, this ceremony. To deliver the vote of thanks, we specially invite Ms. Malaika Jules, Literacy Coach, District 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Jules.
Good morning, everyone. With your permission, I will adopt the protocol already established and acknowledge the presence of all our distinguished guests. As we come to the close of this morning's official ceremony, marking the release of the 2026 Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment results, it is my distinct privilege to offer heartfelt thanks to everyone who has contributed to the success of this event. First and foremost, I wish to express our sincere appreciation to the Honorable Minister for Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation, Honorable Kenson Kazime. Thank you for your thought-provoking address. We understand that while we have done well and we have made some significant gains, there is still a lot left for us to do. But we are encouraged by the vision and enthusiasm you have expressed for the future of education in St. Lucia, and we look forward with optimism to the positive impact your leadership will have on our nation's learners. To the Honorable Danny Butcher, Minister in the Ministry of Education with responsibility for early childhood, continuing and special education, we thank you for the attention that you have brought to critical areas like special education and for asking us to look beyond a simple numerical value when measuring our students' success, but to consider also who the student is as a person and what their needs are. Our sincere thanks are also extended to Mr. Kendall Kodra, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports, and Digital Transformation, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Alfia Emmanuel. Thank you for your presence here today. Chief Education Officer, Ms. Beverly Diodone. Your leadership continues to inspire all of us to strive for excellence. Thank you, Ms. Diodone, for reminding us that the marked improvement that we experienced was only possible through our collective efforts. To the Registrar of Examination, Mr. Patterson Abraham, thank you, sir, for your hard work and your steadfast commitment in ensuring the smooth administration of the examinations. Well done, sir. We also wish to acknowledge with appreciation our heads of department, education officers, curriculum officers, members of the communications unit, assessment unit officers and staff, administrative personnel, and all education stakeholders and partners. You have been very instrumental in leading us to this significant moment. To our principals and teachers, we extend our deepest appreciation for your efforts in nurturing, guiding, and inspiring our students throughout their educational journey. Kudos to you for the incredible work that you continue to do. Thank you to our mistress of ceremony for today, Ms. Collymore, for guiding us through today's proceedings. To our parents and guardians, we thank you for your partnership, encouragement, and many sacrifices. You have helped create the foundation for your children's success in education. And most importantly, to our students, congratulations on reaching this significant milestone. Today's achievement is a testament to your hard work, your resilience, and your determination. As you prepare to embark on the next stage of your educational journey, we encourage you to remain focused, embrace every opportunity for growth, and continue striving for excellence. Finally, to everyone joining us in person and to our online viewers who have logged in to share this special occasion, thank you all for your attendance. May God continue to bless and guide each of you, and may He continue to bless our beautiful nation, St. Lucia.
Thank you, Ms. Jules, and we have now come to the end of our ceremony. So I have some information for you that you all will pick up your packages to outside. I also need to let you know that your MST results will also be given to you today as well. So thank you everyone for attending. I am sure that you need to pick up your results and to leave speedily. Mr. Abraham has something to say. Can you please hold on?
Yes. I also want to inform the EOs we place the book bursary